Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Felina S450 and if I think it's worth picking up over anything else.
You know it's this. Take a perk and talk it and see. Money swallowing like sis. They the perfect in the kid. Got a Billy Mosaic on my head. To be better, pull up the road I just spent. I don't want got $1 million. The devil, that shit, then I chip it again. Flawless.
So I'm going to start with the painfully obvious in that this is a 1-to-1 Hadi S Plus clone. And since I don't own the Hadi S Plus, I'll have a good friend of mine, Jaku, do this section of the video. So he'll explain how close this is to the Hadi S.
Yo, what up guys? I am indeed Stubby's very good mouse reviewing friend. As you can see, I am quite the Hadi S Plus aficionado and I have been maining this mouse for quite a bit now. When the original Hadi S Plus 4K released in the white version, I actually mained it straight away because I was absolutely in love with the shape. Back then it was actually the closest thing to a GPX Mini that you could possibly find. And this goes for the Felina S450 as well. The absolute only difference you can tell between the Hadi S Plus and the Felina S450 is that the 450 is like 1%, or not even 1%, probably 0.5% wider in the back. And that really is about it. It's almost like they did these very, very subtle changes in the overall width and in the width of the back hump, only to not get sued their asses off. But other than that, it's an absolute solid mouse. I freaking love the coating on this thing. It is a bit heavier. As you can see, the G-Wolf's Hadi S Plus goes around 50 grams, and the 450 is about 57 grams. So they are pretty close to each other, but yeah, this mouse is absolutely unusable if you don't put on some other skates, and I would definitely recommend to sand off the ridges if your copy actually has them. I'm pretty sure that on the new revision they don't have the ridges anymore, but yeah, you'll find out once you get it. All I did was sand it down so it's completely flat to put on some aftermarket skates. And since I had to take the mouse apart anyways, I also went out of my way to replace the battery in a other position so that it is way more balanced now. But other than that, man, if you can't afford a really expensive G-Wolf's mouse, which especially the 4K version is, you need to get this thing. So yeah, TLDL, it is a Hadi S Plus with minimal changes so they didn't get sued. Here's a comparison between the S450 and the Hadi S Plus from beneath and from the side as well.
Next, I want to go on to build quality. This mouse is okayly built. I wouldn't call this the highest quality mouse that I've touched. If you push onto the sides a bit too much, you get a lot of flexing and you'll hear this kind of clicking similar to how the G Pro X Superlight 2 was doing. Also, the base is really fragile. If you press down on these, you can kind of flex the base inwards. And that's not really a big issue since the mouse is going to be like this most of the time. You're not going to be playing with the mouse like this and touching the bottom of it. You're not playing with the mouse like that at all. So that's not that big of a deal. But now I just want to get on to just like the main clicks and the scroll. The scroll wheel is very notchy. I would compare this pretty well to the Viper Mini SE or the VAC-C, where it has a very notchy scroll wheel, but it doesn't feel as premium. It feels really cheap and notchy, not like the premium notchy you're getting in the NP01S or the Viper Mini SE. The clicks are using Huano Pink Shell Blue Dot Transparent, the same clicks being used in the X2 Clear, same clicks being used and a lot of mice now. They're pretty much this new standard, the new GM 8.0s, the click that you'll pretty much see in every mouse that is using optical switches. They're standard clicks. They're nothing crazy impressive. They feel really nice. They're very tactile, but since these aren't the stock Huano Blue Shell Pink Dots, they are they're much lighter. The stock Huano Pink Shell Blue Dots, from my memory, are a lot stiffer. So this is a lot more spammable for, you know, building in Fortnite or something like that. These side buttons have a lot of post-travel to the point I feel like I can push the side button in, but the pre-travel is very minimal. I feel like it takes around 1 to 2 millimeters of force to really push the side button in, but once you're in there, you can pretty much push it out. Now, I would just go on to a couple of the pros with this mouse. Its price being like $50. With the code, you can get it even cheaper, but for $50, I see there being little to complain about for the mouse. For its performance, you're getting standard 1K Hertz polling rate, 3395. And I really just don't see there being any reason, like if you're debating picking up the Hadi S, but you're like, I don't want to spend $120. This is probably going to be a solid pickup because it's close enough to the point. It's close enough to the Hadi S where I get asked, is this just a Hadi S? And when I show them the logo, they're like, oh, what's a Felina? But now I just want to go into a couple of the cons, a couple of things that would keep me from recommending this to everybody, because these are a couple of things you have to do to the mouse in order to make it usable. When you open the mouse up out the box, it's super front heavy. If we just lift it up, you can see it just kind of plops over to the front. That's because they put the battery of the mouse onto the PCB I guess they wanted to make it seem like there was nothing in the mouse, but it's stupid. They realistically get the battery right here. So I would recommend, if you are planning on picking up this mouse, to open it up, remove the terrible stock skates, and then take the battery from where it's currently at. Like, you can kind of see it here, but you could just take the battery from where it's at, plop it right here over this empty spot, and then you can take a tiny sanding block, and then there's little lips here. You would have to kind of sand these off so you could fit normal size skates on it, because the skate sizing, you cannot fit standard skates on the mouse at all. I've tried. You would have to be crossing over this lip, and that would cause inconsistencies, and most people don't want those inconsistencies when they're using the mouse. But yeah, other than that, I feel like this is a really fine mouse. The software, bog standard software. This reminds me of older G-Wolf softwares. It just looks like a cheap Chinesium software, but it gets it has everything you need. It has the DPI, lift-off distance, just everything you need, really, in a software, and it doesn't stay open on your computer like the Razer Synapse or SteelSeries GG. But yeah, no, overall, I feel like this is a pretty solid mouse. If I were to start rating mice, I'd give this like a 7 out of 10, because out of the box, you'd have to do a couple of tweaks to make it worth the money. Because out of the box, you have to do a couple of tweaks to really make it like a perfect mouse. But with those minor tweaks, this is like an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 mouse. There's very little to complain about, besides the fact that you might get clicking when you squeeze onto the side, which I feel like that isn't a big issue for me personally, but there's a lot of complaints when it's happening on the Superlight 2. And this being, what, $110 on the Superlight 2, I feel like it's not that big of a deal. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do I recommend this mouse? If you're looking for a Hadi S Plus clone, totally worth picking up. If you're just trying to try the Hadi S Plus, get this, debate for yourself, and then go pick up the actual Hadi S Plus, because that has 4K plus 8K Hertz wireless coming really soon. And if you're just debating on getting this because you really need a really cheap mouse, you're not going to go wrong. It's not the best mouse I've ever used. It's not the worst mouse I've ever used. I have 2 mice sitting behind me I'll be doing videos on later that are worse than this. And I really don't see being much to complain about, knowing that it's like a $30 to $50 clone of a very, very popular shape. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more. I will be doing more mouse reviews. I have a lot of reviews to get through, the MPO-NS being included in it, X2H Mini, alongside Deluxe M800, Rappu VT9 Pro, and so many mouse pads, including this Musashi pad I have sitting here. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.